And I just thought she was great. And everybody would just say, oh, she's just trash. And I thought, that's what I'm going to be when I grow up.
Yes.
I thought that meant the way she was.
Yes. Yes.
So I did grow up
Dolly,
and look like that.
I identify with and you know, one other thing that Dolly always says is, it costs a lot to look this cheap.
And it does.
And it does.
That's why I keep working.
Yes, yeah, but you are, I mean, I'm not going to count your money, but I'll brag for you. This woman is wealthy beyond belief. I
count my blessings before I count my money.
You're a lovely woman, but I had no idea that in addition to Dollywood, which, you know, is still open at her amusement park, you employ
a
like
theme park.
A theme
we do
park.
have amusement areas in it.
You employ virtually the whole town, which I think is fantastic, and you have fans worldwide. So the place. Oh, you guys, so sorry. I'm live. I didn't realize I was live. I'm not going to start again. It's only been 10 seconds, so we're good. I'm over here watching. Okay, I'm going to tell you the truth what I'm doing. I was, you know, of course, getting myself set up, and I'm sitting here watching Wendy Williams on my iPad, and Dolly Parton is one of my favorite people. I'm not a big country fan, but I can tell you what, I'm a big Dolly Parton fan, and whatever she sings, I love. Whatever she does, I love, because I love Dolly Parton. I just think she is just the sweetest, most adorable woman, so beautiful. Anyway, so I'm sitting here watching that, and I'm just straightening out my camera here for, you know, however long that was. Anyway, and I was live. All right, you guys, what we're doing today is, wait, I'm going to show you guys something. You guys are going to laugh. You know what's off. Hopefully this doesn't get dust everywhere. Do you know what that is right there? That's a sander. And we're sanding our book today. Well, actually, we're not going to do the sanding part. We're going to do that on part 2. But you guys are like, Angela, you're gone crazy. Do you need an electric sander for this? No, you can use a block sander. But it'll be faster and more fun if you got yourself a power, like an electric sander. So go into, you might be the one who has the sander. In my family, I'm the one who has the sander. My husband could care less about a damn sander. So this is my sander. But if you're not a person that has power tools, get yourself one. Or go in the garage, I'm sure your husband has one, get your power tool out. Okay, let me explain what I'm doing. Let me turn this around so you guys can see how it looks. This is very grunge. And it almost looks like, and I wanted it to look like, it almost looks like you're outside and somebody has done graffiti on the wall, but done some cool graffiti. Not to brag about myself or anything, I'm just saying, like, you know, sometimes you look and go, I know that's graffiti on the wall, but that's cool. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's what I attempted to do on this. I saw a guy about, how long ago? This was like probably, gosh, 15 years ago. And he lived in Mexico and he was poor. And he didn't have a whole lot of money to go into Michael's or Joann's, if they even have that there. I'm not sure, but he didn't have money for all that. So he made art out of what he found around him. He picked up trash off the ground, free magazines, free newspapers all over wherever they were at. Literal trash on the ground. If he saw some trash and he thought the colors were cool, he picked that up and he would just collect all this cool stuff. All the free stuff he could collect, all the trash he could collect. And he applied it, and he always worked on boards. Okay, big, huge boards. And he applied layer after layer after layer after layer after layer of all this trash he found and all these free magazines and newspapers and whatever. And then he took a sander to it and sanded the hell out of it. Kyle? Oh, okay, I'm making a video. Just a second. Okay, anyway, sanded the hell out of it. And when he sanded it, all those layers came up differently and created a really cool background. And I can't remember what he had for his like, whatever his focal point would be. I think it'd be lots of different things. But that's how he created his backgrounds, and it was flippin' fabulous. And I always wanted to do it. So that's how I created this page. So this page is 8 layers of, I'll show you, 8 layers of junk I found. So you guys, this is nothing I bought. This is all junk that I found in Las Vegas. So let me take you through the junk. Okay. Just a second. Okay, I get these weekly magazines. They're called Las Vegas Weeklies. And you get them for free at the grocery stores. And they have such cool, I won't go through them, okay, guys, because that will take forever. But they always have such cool pictures in them. And they always have a lot of color. So these are great. So in your town, wherever you live, I'm sure they have some type of a magazine. They come out every week or every month. Collect those if you like what I'm doing. This right here, what is this? Oh, this is an Asian newspaper that I get. I've talked about this before. That I get in Chinatown. Here, look how cool that is. Love using it. I love using this kind of stuff in my I'm doing my backgrounds anyway when I'm putting down all my collage bits. That's a normal thing I always use. I love how Asian writing is. I think it's absolutely beautiful. To me, it's just such an art form. Look how beautiful that is. Okay, next. This is what I'm going to put in today's. I have some tickets that I went to a concert. I'm going to put those in my thing. Anyway, I found this. I don't know what this is, but this is is this junk mail? I don't even know where I got this. If I picked this up from a store, if this was junk mail, but I'm going to add that in there. I just think it looks cool. This is like a little kids directory. There could be some cool color pages in there. And all you're looking for is pages that have some cool color. Like I would rip that out because that has some cool color, right? So that's all you're looking for is just color. Or cool print, like that Asian newspaper. This is another free magazine you can get for free. And I mean, collect paper, junk, anything you see that you think would look really cool. This is another one. This is Rev This Week. And it's another magazine that has cars in it. This is called Natural Awakenings. Okay. This is another one, A Parent's Guide. And you never know when you're going to find something with cool color. Like that. I would rip that up. I think that has some cool color. I'd just rip that whole thing up. But when you guys look at what I show you guys, you'll realize the papers I rip up, I got the ones with the most vibrant colors. And I don't worry about matching colors. Here's a pet scene magazine. I'd rip that up because that has a lot of good color in it. The whole thing does. So I just ripped that whole thing up and that would be one of the backgrounds. Oh, I ended up picking up 2 of those. This is called Black Image. That's a free one. When you go to the grocery stores, you should be able to go to this one section right up near the door, and they always usually have a bunch of free magazines. At least that's how it is in Vegas. That's another one. I would rip this whole page up because this is a bunch of cool color. My gym has a free magazine that comes out, I don't know if it comes out every 2 or 3 months. Anyway, there's a bunch of cool color pictures in there. All these free newspapers. This one's called El Aguila. It's a Spanish one. That's cool. I picked that up. This is called Thrifty Nifty. This is just something that came to my house, you know, for sale items. That's a cool piece of color right there. But this whole thing can be ripped up. There's a lot of different color in there. This is another magazine, you guys. It's called Knit Picks. It's for people who knit. But if you want, go on to Knit Picks, Knitpicks. Go to Knit Picks because this magazine has, look at this. Look at the color. And you can just get it for free. Look all the color of the yarn. You guys, I've ripped so many of these magazines up to put, look at all the color. And you get this magazine for free. And once you sign up for it, you'll get it free every month. And I only got it because I'm a knitter and I like to look at, you know, order yarn and needles and all kinds of stuff. But now, after I'm done looking at them, I use them in my artwork. Here's another weekly ad. Las Vegas Weekly. You guys look at this color, this right here. I ripped this whole thing up. And I rip them up into about pieces about like that. I would rip that whole thing up. Okay, so you guys are getting the idea. I have a ton over here. Here's another one called Las Vegas 7. Okay, you guys got the idea. So, let me put this away. So then what I did is I took my magazines and I ripped up a bunch of pieces. So now I have a container. I have this container right here just full of all kinds of colored pieces. Okay? Of all colors. See? Look at that. See? So this whole thing is full of them. So that's what we're going to do first. We're just going to paste down. I'm going to rip this up because I want this in there. We're going to paste down. We're going to collage down 7 layers of collage bits. All right, so let's get started. Let me make sure you guys are still there. Yeah, you are. Now, what I did on this page is I used, you can use whatever acrylic paint you want to use. I put some acrylic paint down just as a base color, so that if I do end up going all the way down, I'll go down to a color, okay? Make sure you guys are still in the frame. Okay, so I use Dime Reevely Dilution. So I'm going to use those. When we're done with everything, I will put a coat of gesso over it after I do the seven layers. I'll put a coat of gesso and it'll crackle and it'll make a whole nother set of textures. I'll let that dry. Then after that dries, we'll do some color like this. I'm going to use this color, yellow, and orange. And I might use the green too. And just throw that on top of there. Then I'll let all that dry really, really well. And that's when we'll get our sander out. And sand the heck out of this, okay? And I actually mixed the electric sander up first. I did that and really got down. And then there was some white, there's like little white spaces where I could have went, if I kept using the sander, I would have went down too many more levels. So I would just rub it out with this block. You don't have to have a sander. You can, if you want, just use your hand, just use a block sander like that. I put 4 pages together because you're gonna want this awfully stiff. Plus you're gonna have 7 layers of collage bits down, right? So it's going to be nice and thick, and it'll be, and don't worry, you think you're going to go right through the paper with the electric sander, you don't, because this is so thick by the time we're done. Okay, let's get started, because we got 7 layers of collage bits to go, to do. All right, let's get started. And then once I get all the collage bits down, and everything dries and all that, and after we do our sanding, I do add some, I added some napkins on top. I added some, I did some stuff through stencils. So I do add a few things. I added some drips. And this right here is a heart. It's a really cool stencil that I have. Kind of like a broken heart. Kind of what I'm suffering from right now. I hate to say that to you guys. Just some family stuff. Anyway. So this is like a broken heart, and for some reason I didn't know what I wanted to use as my focal point, and I seen this in my stash, and I put that on here in the center, and that's what that is. That's a broken heart. And then I did some numbers on the side of here. This is napkins, napkins, napkins here. Then I used another cool stencil, like a Tim Holtz type of stencil. It's really cool. So you guys will see these stencils I use as I go along. So. But on the other side, whatever my focal point is, it'll be a happier focal point, okay? I don't want to make people sad, be like, Angela. I'm okay, though. And you know why I'm okay? Because I do art. Art makes things okay. It makes me okay. All right, let's get busy. Oh, one other thing. Okay, you always got to put some plastic behind there, or not plastic, what do you call this? Wax paper. Okay. And yep, we're going right over the paint that we just did. Because, that's just another layer of all the layers we're going to be putting on here. Now, I may do all 7 layers with you on the video. I may not. We'll see. I'm going to work for 20 minutes, and we'll see how far we get. And then I'll finish putting on the layers on if I don't do that in the next 20 minutes. And the reason I say that is I want to go to the gym. I have a mixed fit class that I love going to on Monday nights at 5:30, and I got to get dressed and go. But I got 20 minutes to collage as many collage bits as I can. So we'll see if I can get 7 layers done in the next 20 minutes. And that'll make my video long enough. I mean, And this is another thing I want to say. Since you have to do 7 layers, don't make your pieces too small, because you have a lot to do. I mean, enjoy it, but, you know, you don't want to be collaging little bits on forever. So I don't make them too small. Now you see what I'm talking about, how I chose ones with a lot of color. Because what you're doing is you're making a background with these collage bits and their the color of the collage bits. We are adding a little bit of paint, but we're getting way more of our color from our collage bits. Right? Right. Okay. Roll that out. That's cool, that money right there. I'm going to throw this right there. So like I said, you can, whatever you see free, like if you see some advertisements, someone advertising something and they give you a brochure, you can rip that up and put that in the background. Cool, huh? Like, so now I'm looking for cool collage bits everywhere I go that I can get for free. Or if I see something on the ground, I pick it up and I add it in my backgrounds here. But like I said, I saw this idea from this guy from Mexico a long time ago, and he was like really poor, and he made this beautiful art, and he did it on board. He did on he liked to work on wood, and these big boards, these big pieces of wood, and it was just pieces of wood that people were throwing out. That's what he used. Okay, there's one layer. I'm going to keep track of my layers too. Just a second, let me find a pencil. I have tons of pencils. You know, my problem is finding ones that are sharpened. I have a lot of pencils that aren't sharpened. Okay, so there's one. First layer. Let's go for my next. And it goes so much faster after this because everything's already all glued down, right? So you're just having to put it on top and then just decoupage on top because this is all still wet. So you're working on wet glue already. So all I have to do is just do glue over the top. So after your first layer, it goes really quick. Not that going quick is important, but you guys already know. I like to work quick. I tell you this every time. You're like, Angela, we know. In fact, today on my way, after I get done with my mixed fit class today, I'm going to, on the way out, they have this like, I don't know, like a little roundabout thing. Anyway, it advertises a bunch of businesses. I'm gonna check that out. Even if the paper's a little bit thick, it'll be fine because you're gonna use. It'll be fine to have some cool texture. So, and you're gonna use a oops, there was two of those together. You're gonna use a you're gonna be using a sander anyway. And like I said, you don't have to use an electric sander. But I did want to say, that's what that guy used. He used an electric sander. It was really cool. And I think he did more than 7 layers. I think he did like, I don't know, like 20 layers. I remember he just did tons of layers before he sanded it. Okay, so that's my second layer. And I'm not sure if he, I'm not sure about his focal points. I remember one of them, I remember had a message. He just wrote something. Just wrote a message in his own handwriting. And that was it. It was so cool. That's where I kind of got the idea to put that heart down. I didn't use my own handwriting, but I used that stencil. And I put that heart down just to kind of work some stuff out with things that are going on in my life. And anyway, don't worry, you guys. I'm fixing my heart. I'm doing art. I'm an herbalist. I'm taking a lot of good herbs to help myself. Drink a lot of good infusions. I go to the gym and I do the classes I take. I said MixFit. They're like dance classes. MixFit is similar to Zumba, but it's not just Latin based. We do some type of Latin based dancing like Zumba, but it's a lot of like music that's in the club and just cool dance routines. But totally, you can totally follow them. Like if you're not a dancer, they totally break it down so you can follow it. I love it. I danced my whole life. I danced in dance companies. I danced in dance companies in my, when I went to college. I was a Pommy and cheerleader in high school. So I've danced all my life. So I'm glad that I still get to go dance. So thank goodness for this Zumba and MixFit. So fun. And it's going to help my stress. All right, put this one right here. And you can see I'm not being perfect with this at all. That's the third. Let's go fourth. I'm not being precious with this at all. I am just gluing and moving. And that's a huge thing. It does not matter what you put down. It does not matter what color you put down. So put it down. Don't fret over it and keep going. You got 7 layers. You ain't got time to be fretting. And it's all the different colors, and then being able to use your sand block or your electric sander to cut through everything, and you'll start seeing all these beautiful colors and designs come out. It's really magical. You guys won't just see me do this once. I'll do this quite a bit. And I think that I'm going to do this. I was thinking about my cover, like what techniques I was going to use on my cover. And I think this is the technique I'm going to use on my cover of this book. The only thing that like you want to be careful about is like you want to make sure that you're getting pieces that have color on them. Because see, I tore out some pieces and they didn't have very much color on them. So look, that's the only thing I'm getting picky about, is just making sure it has color. I put this piece of paper over here so I can protect my work, my surface over here, or I can protect the other page that I already did, because I would be dripping glue all over it. Okay. And I told you guys, I love just like ripping paper and gluing paper down. I do not know why. I just think it's relaxing. It's meditative, which I obviously need. It's kind of like knitting or spinning. I do that too. And okay, so that's the fourth. I think too, what like all this is, it's repetitive, and I think repetition for some people can be very nurturing and very relaxing. And whether I'm doing this type of work or I'm like gluing down paper, it's the same thing over and over and over. It has some type of calming or meditative effect. And knitting, you're doing pretty much the same thing over and over and over. Spinning, you're doing that same thing over and over and over. Hope you guys aren't too bored watching me paste this paper down, but maybe some of you will be like, you know what, it's relaxing watching you paste that paper down. Plus, I hope you're working on something. I hope you're working on, you know, some project yourself too. I know when I'm watching videos, I'm always working on something. It's nice to have somebody on in the background. Plus, while you're working, you're getting 20 million other ideas. This right here, see, yep, it pasted down. Cool. You know what this is? That's an M&M wrapper, peanut M&M wrapper. You guys, I love peanut M&Ms. And my husband, I could have killed him. We were at Sam's Club. He bought me, you guys, an entire 32-ounce container of peanut M&Ms. I'm like, look, honey, just buy me a pack of M&Ms if you want to give me a little treat. Because like on Saturdays is like when I kind of have my junk day. I kind of allow myself to have some, you know, some junk. So one pack of M&Ms would be sufficient. Oh no, this fool buys me 32-ounce little bucket of M&Ms. I'm like, oh my God, the torture. But we had a package of M&Ms. Somebody gave us a pack of M&Ms for some reason. Anyway, so that was from the packaging of the M&Ms. So I thought, you know what? Let me put that in my work. So I threw that in my little bucket of stuff. Okay, so now that's 5. So now we got 2 more. What time is it? Okay, we're good. Oh, we're going to totally get done before 20 minutes. We're good. Like I said, because I got to go get my aerobic clothes on. But thank God my class, I go to 2 different or 3 different. There's like, I don't know, 6, 7 locations here of it's called Las Vegas Athletic Club. There's like 6 different locations. But the one I'm going to today is just down the street, so I don't have to go far. I don't have to go too far. Oh, I like these colors. Aren't those pretty? And I'm not a big yellow or orange fan, but in this type of work, it's cool to see yellow and orange mixed by everything else. So I push myself to cut out all kinds of colors and not get picky about the colors. Because it's not about one color, it's about the mix of everything together. And then the design it creates when you sand it off. Okay, so that's 6 layers. This is the last layer. How fun. I do want to do this, you guys, on a big piece of wood, on a big board, like he did. So when I do that, I'll bring you guys along. I think what I'll do is, because to do a big board, I kind of need to do it outside. So I'll wait until the weather gets good, and the weather will be getting good here in another, well, at least better, in like another month. Because right now it's hot as hell. Like, you can't be doing anything outside. You'll die. So I'll do that outside. Because just the sanding in this book, it leaves a lot of dust. So doing it on a big old board, that'll be a lot of dust. Plus, I don't even have a room on my table here for a big, huge board. Well, I might by that time. I kind of want to put another table down the middle of my room, which will give my room hardly any room to move around. But then, more than moving around, I need like table space. So, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Okay, let's get on to some other colors. Okay, that was our last layer. Just fill in some more right here, a little space. Just looking for some more different colors. There we go. Oh, there's a piece of that yarn from that yarn magazine. Love that stuff. Ooh, that's a good color piece right there. Okay. So that was my 7th layer. Okay. You can do 8, 9, 10 layers, whatever you do, but we're going to do 7 layers. And really it's more because you have paint on the bottom, and then I'm going to do a layer of gesso, and then I'm going to do a layer of paint, and then after that, that'll dry. So let me put this down. Talk to you guys. Let me put all this down. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm not even going to wash my brush. I'm going to go right into some gesso and go right over this glue. And what that does when you go over wet glue with gesso, it creates cracks, which is just going to be some more cool texture and design. So let me put my homemade podge away. Okay, let me get my gesso. And I don't use gesso. I use a thing called Kilz, K-I-L-T-Z. I say it every video. I get it at Home Depot. You buy it by the gallon. They sell it in the pink section. It's a wall primer. But you get a gallon of it for like 15 bucks. It'll last you like a year, if not longer. Okay, now the reason I'm putting the gesso down so that we have a matte surface to work on, because then I'm going to put, remember, this paint. But what we're going to do is I'm going to put this gesso on, and this is where we're going to have to let this all dry. I'm going to let this dry overnight, so you guys won't see me again until tomorrow with this project. But I'm going to let this dry overnight outside, because it needs to be really, really dry. And it's already the evening time, but this was, if this was in the middle of the day here in Vegas, I could put this out for 20 minutes and it would be bone dry. But it's already getting late, and it still would probably dry, and then because it's really hot outside, it'd probably still dry in the next 20 minutes. But I won't be able to get back on camera until tomorrow. I'm going to the gym, like I said, and then I'll have to come home and make dinner, so look for part 2 here tomorrow. But anyway, it'll give plenty of time for this to dry, because this is 7 layers deep, plus I have gesso on here. This is a lot, you guys. It has to dry, and a lot of places aren't as hot as this, so definitely let it dry overnight. Okay, so when you come back on part 2, what we'll do on part 2 is I will already have this color, and you can use any acrylic paint you want. I'm using this color, and the orange. I already have that, just swatches of that on here, okay? And it'll already be dry. Just for the sake of time, we don't have time for, you know, all this drying. So that'll all be done. But I'm not going to put that paint on here until this dries. So when we come back, this will already have been dried, and then I'll paint all my patches of color on here. And then on camera, we will use that sander that I have below my feet, and you guys will see me sanding this, which is the exciting part. And then we'll take our hand sander, like the sanding block, and go over the parts we need to go over. And then we'll add a little bit of napkins to this. We'll add a little bit of some stencils to this, and we'll add our focal point and whatever else we need to add. You'll love whatever else I see I need to add to it. So, and I'll have my focal point picked out by then too. So, okay, you guys, that is it for today. I hate to end it just like that. You guys are like, oh, all that work, she covered it up. But don't worry, we're going to sandblast through it with the sander. So it will all be revealed. Okay, you guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd love for you to do so. If you can give this video a thumbs up, that'd be great. Any comments or questions, leave below. Come visit me at Facebook and Instagram. And share this video if you like. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video.